Have you ever played a game that is so good you just fucking start coming all over the place? Have you ever seen one of those memes that basically compare like AAA games to a 5-hour indie game and how that short little experience gave them more meaning to their life than whatever a AAA game could offer? I knew it was mostly true. I mean, I've played my fair share of indie games myself, but I didn't know just how true it was until I started playing Oneshot. And would you guess it? It was effectively a 5-hour indie game that gave my life more meaning than 97% of the AAA games out there. Oneshot is a game that I am sure you have seen in some way, shape, or form somewhere in the past. If you're watching this video, then I am so positive this purple football has appeared in front of your vision at least once in the last 10 years. I'm not sure if I would call this game unknown. There have been a lot of popular YouTubers who have played through it in their channels, and I will argue that this little dude is one of the more recognizable designs in the indie scene. But unlike contemporaries like Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, Undertale, fucking Baldi's Basics, I don't really see this game in many conversations anymore. Maybe it was once at a time, maybe during its time of release, but if such that time ever existed, then it has long since faded away. Despite that though, I still feel like singing my praises for the game, simply because it is an experience that I need to talk about somehow before I start coming all over the place again. And here I am, already glazing. The beginning of the game can tell the player basically everything that the journey is gonna be in some way, shape, or form, and successfully investing the player in this short period of time is often imperative, as otherwise they just think the entire experience is going to be like this. There's no punchline here, I just want to shit on Notre Despair Girls. Oneshot begins suddenly with no context for basically anything, just the controls, and barely that by the way. It's a single screen telling you how to do everything. However, this single introductory segment of the game is a masterclass in hooking a player into its world, and as the story progresses, that statement will gain many layers. To summarize the beginning area of the game, as you explore around this dark room and figure a puzzle that allows you to enter this computer, the computer tells you a couple of things. Your actions affect Nico, your mission is to help Nico leave, and most importantly, I'm wet. This precise moment is when I knew that I was experiencing one of the best games to grace this blue trap of a planet. I mean, this tells you everything that you need to know mechanically and thematically, what your goals are, how to accomplish them, and how you're going to interact with the world. This game is a masterpiece! After this, you solve a couple more puzzles, collect a giant light bulb, and step into the outside world, starting the adventure proper. From here, Oneshot becomes a little puzzle game in which you go around the world interacting with characters and objects, not just from the perspective of Nico, but from your own perspective as well, as the game has many puzzles linked to locations in your real-life computer. In the game itself, it is explained that the player is a god capable of guiding Nico to their objective, and using your godly powers, you can create results that move the plot forward. In the game, there is more than one instance in which shit would just be fucked and the game looks at you with this face like you already know what to do. Oh, my bad. Yeah, let me look through like my 50 folders of combat strategies when located at Walmart and I'll find the answer for you. Give me just a second. The puzzles in this game were actually really fun to push through. Solving the riddles, finding the clues scattered through your computer, and taking advantage of the many different ways in which the game interacts with your computer is freaking wicked. I find that many games that toy with the fourth wall... Wait... Well, that doesn't say fourth wall, now that's embarrassing. I find that many games that toy with the fourth wall do so with different levels of success. A lot of them can be pretty immersive, examples such as Undertale, There's No Game, Doki Doki, all really great showings that take advantage of the interactivity of the medium. But personally, I don't think I've ever seen a game so perfectly play with the fourth wall to the point of making it a core gameplay mechanic as Oneshot does. The story of the game also takes perfect advantage of these circumstances to create a story so perfectly synced with the mechanics of the title that it manages to make me feel stupid for not being born 7 to 8 years earlier to have enough time to steal this idea and put it on the map before anybody else had the chance to. Feeding more into the immersive nature of the game, you learn about everything from this world alongside Nico, and as soon as you both start exploring the world, oh my god, ooh, I cannot speak today. And as soon as you both start exploring the world, you quickly learn of your goal to place the sun, this light bulb, into the top of this big ass tower to save the dying world and allow Nico to get back home. The more you venture into the game though, the more that the idea of letting this world meet its fitting end is fed to both of your heads, as while many believe this is the salvation that they seek, others believe that this is just a temporary solution to a problem whose roots have spread too far. Why did you start fighting Dark Souls 3? No matter what happens though, your choices affect the characters in the game, and you only have one shot. So once that window fades one last time, it's done. You only had one shot, and whatever happened to these characters now will stay that way. And this is actually true, by the way. You technically can't go back to the game anymore. You can, technically, but you gotta do some like complicated shit to go back. But I think that this makes complete sense. To the people of this world, this is real life. You can't rewind to the last 24 hours in the real world, so why should you be able to go back to the beginning and see everything again? There was still a lot more that I haven't mentioned from the story. I basically gave a very simple summary of what it's about, but I would really recommend that you play the game yourself because the story really is just that damn good. The game is a window in every sense of the word, one that connects a world such as the one that Nico is stuck in to our own. That makes the game such a captivating experience because it literally drags the player into the world as an active character that influences the story. One example, now that I'm remembering it, of a game that did something similar was Tearaway, a game in which the sun is literally you, and as a sun, you finger your PSP to a whole bunch and it goes into the game itself. Sensational. 10 out of 10 experience, honestly. That is pretty much the entirety of the gameplay though. Oneshot is an RPG Maker title, but one of those titles in which rather than rattling bones of your enemies, you simply explore around and see what the horizon has in store for you. Great for the developers, allowing them to have an easier time, but for some people this might be enough reason to shed tears. I believe that I have semi-frequently mentioned how the most important part of games to me will always be the gameplay first, and while I am always willing to try games where that isn't always the case, I also can't say that this is a sentiment shared by everyone. I can sing the other praises of the game as many times as I want. I can mention the beautiful art and sprite work, the fascinating soundtrack, the creatively charming characters, or the story that had me shedding grown man tears, which I will not get into because I want you all to experience it for yourselves. But this will unfortunately not be enough to convince everyone to play a game in which the gameplay amounts to opening doors until eventually one of them has a funny dialogue telling you a detailed step-by-step process on personally summoning the devil. Even with the puzzles that throw your own computer into the fray, I feel like if this type of game already isn't your style and I still haven't convinced you to play the game with the premise that I've detailed so far, then no amount of peak fiction will be able to convince you. Oneshot is a masterpiece of a game with a story that is both charming as it is unique and immersive unlike any game that I have ever played. This experience took me roughly 7 hours, mostly because I got lost a lot of times, but those 7 hours mean something to me! If you haven't played the game, then it is available everywhere, although I would actually recommend you play the original version of the game if you get the chance. The World Machine Edition is still an incredible time, don't get me wrong, but personally, the OG experience is simply a lot more immersive due to it being the intended experience for the game. While the World Machine Edition is still a freaking wicked sick experience, it is something that is trying to imitate the experience of using your own computer to solve puzzles because this was an experience designed for consoles, while OG Oneshot is the real deal, which I think makes a lot of the mechanics and thematic moments hit a lot harder than if you were, I don't know, playing through a Switch, especially when working towards the final portion of the game. It's still like a 9 out of 10, basically 10 out of 10 experience that will have you bawling your eyes out, but if you ever get the chance, then definitely play OG. They're both really cheap anyway, so it doesn't even matter that much. Well, that's all the time that I've had for today. I'm just a random stranger you met on the internet, but hey, just call me Suda. You know, it's weird to think about it, but this year I've been really, like, inactive, and I would really like to change that. Now that I'm in summer, I'm gonna have way more time to, like, play a lot of shit, so expect, like a lot more videos, you know what I mean? But for now, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And peace out.